good evening, and welcome to Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast, where we inspire, we encourage, and we empower you to live a fulfilling and blessed lifestyle. I am Anna. I am your host. I am a retired school teacher and educational consultant, a jury consultant, a health consultant, and I'm also a certified cake instructor. So I bring to you a wealth of knowledge and experience through our conversations. So each week, on each episode, we dive into topics that enrich our lives, from educational and personal development to health and wellness. And of course, we just cannot leave out the art of jury. So this is done by providing workshops and speakers and just providing knowledge, research knowledge as well. So I want to ask you to just join me as we explore inspiring stories, expert insights, and practical advice to help you live a blessed and fulfilling lifestyle. Thank you again for tuning in to Sweet Blessings, where every conversation is a treasure. So, let's get started. So, this episode is on Renew. We're doing the series on re, re restart or reset. That's the same thing. Reset. And then we're doing renew, and next week we'll be talking a little bit about realigning. So what we are trying to do is to start out our year spiritually strong. We don't want to be stressed. That stress is what really and truly causes illnesses and all of those things. So we don't want to be stressed. Um, I think this is Plancy 2417 says hello, and hello to you. And thank you so much for joining me as well. I'm going to try to change this so we can kind of show the comments on stage as we go along. Okay. All right. So we're going to take a brief commercial. And then when I come back, we're going to talk a little bit about renew. Okay. And starting off our year without stress. Okay. Hold on just one more.
CTR Media Network is now accepting new podcasters to join our growing network that's reaching 350 million global listeners. Have you heard? CTR Media Network offers podcast production, podcast training, distribution, and product placement. Book us for your next event or schedule an interview with CTR Media Network podcasters today. To learn more, go to ctrmedianetwork.com.
All right, welcome back. I am Anna. I am your host of Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast, where we inspire, we encourage, and we empower you to live a fulfilling lifestyle. At this present time, we're doing a series on reset, renew, and realign. And tonight we're talking about renew. So, I have a presentation. I always do. If I don't have a guest, I will have a presentation. So let me bring that up real quick. So sacred reset. Keep in mind that we're starting the year spiritually strong. We don't want to be stressed at all. And coming out of the holiday season, oh my God, we are both, sometimes we're stressed all kind of ways, financially, all, just seriously, just all kind of ways, that we're stressed. So we have quite a few people totally You all, I really need to put on glasses. But Nutella says, uh, uh, hello, I'm sure. There's your hello from that person. And then we have, I subbed and liked. Okay. Did you subscribe? Thank you so much. If you did, I think that's what that means. I'm not really sure. All right. So we're gonna come out of here, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So I want you to keep in mind that tonight what we are talking about is the series Reset, Renew, and Realign. And this is what you want to do with your life so that you don't have all that stress and stuff like that. Because life is stressful, you all. And no one gets away or gets around the stress, okay? But what we must learn how to do is to um, cope with it. Okay. We must have strategies or methods and things of ways that we can deal with that stress. But tonight's episode is basically on renew. Last week, we talked about reset. So this week, we're going to talk about renew. So many people start the year exhausted. Okay, whether it's they're spiritually tired or emotionally drained, or maybe they're just mentally overwhelmed. But God never intended for renewal to come from striving. Renewal begins with rest. Did you all know that? Because the reason I say that is because when we lay down and we get up, we feel renewed. We feel refreshed when we get up. So rest is important. So this evening we're going to be talking about um, sacred reset, starting the year spiritually strong and not stressed. So there are some core messages that we need to look at, and there's basically two. There could be more, but we're going to just center our focus on these two. God restores before he redirects. Let me repeat that. God restores before he redirects. So, in other words, when we rest, we're restoring. And God is not going to let us move on until we have restored. And then we redirect it. And remember last week I talked about sometimes God, we miss our calling because we're not listening to God. That's why we need moments of stillness, moments of quietness, moments where we can sit back and reflect. We need those moments. Now, I want you to remember that stillness isn't weakness, it's really preparation. It's preparation for what's to come. So think about that. I used to, I hate to say this, but watch television all the time. There was no quietness, no stillness, no. And I don't know when it was like boom, 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 boom. It's still like that some kind of ways sometimes, but uh, I don't know when I got into the stillness. But I can tell you, I very seldom watch television. I like peace and quiet in my house. And I think that more when you have children, maybe that's why. But I'm content when there's nothing on. I might listen to the radio, I might hear the news, but usually I watch the news and all of that early morning. Now, as you get older, things change. Things change in your life. So I can tell you right now that I have evolved, is what you would I guess that's what you would call it. Because it was not like this in the beginning. But what I have learned is that it should have been like this. And I want you to realize that it's just never too late, you all. It's never too late. Don't ever forget that. And you are never too old to live out your dream or whatever. You just have to make sure that you are listening. Okay? You have to make sure that that's going on. So we're going to take another brief commercial, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to look at some teaching points, as well as we're going to do a little, I guess, reflection, because that's my alternative word. I do a lot of reflecting. Uh, and that's a quality that I think that I've had all my life, was the part of reflecting. Um, and I think that that has helped me. But some of these things I have never done. The things that I'm telling you, I'm starting to practice along with everyone else. But the reflection is a quality that I have. I have two that I think that I've always had, and that is one of them. And the other one is observation. I'm very observant to the point where people think it's sickening. But yes, I'm very observant. I don't, very seldom do I miss anything. I'm that type of person, when you used to grow up and they say, you have to look at this picture, you go into this room and then you come out and then you have to say all the things that you saw in that room. I'm very good at that. I'm very good at that. I'm very good at observation. And I don't know if that is one of the characteristics because, I taught school and I taught the babies. And so, the little babies, and I'm not going to say this kind of baby, but age 3, 4, and 5, and 6, some 6-year-olds. That was what my field was. And you have to observe them, you know. And that was just part of my job. And that's what I did. So we're going to take that brief commercial. And then when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about some teaching points, some reflections, and some gentle teaching moments. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. I am Anna. I am your host of Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast. I do want to take this opportunity to give out a few little announcements. Number one, those people who are on Facebook, you can support me by giving me stars, and that is my facebook.com/stars. So if you are on Facebook, you can just hit that and you can support me in that way. It helps me in developing more content and things like that. So I I hope you noticed that my picture is better because I have a new camera. So those type of things really help my broadcast as well. So I do have a website where you can reach me, and this is my website. It's Anna's Lifestyles LLC.com. And what I did was I umbrellaed all of my business. So I have multi businesses, and I umbrellaed them all up under my lifestyles because that's basically what it is. My jewelry business, my podcast. I do gardening, I do crafts, and I even have a baking business. I teach cake decorating. So, those of you who might be interested in learning a little bit more about cake decorating or anything like that, you can always go to Anna's Lifestyles LLC.com. But if you want more information, you can also email me, and you can email me at info at Anna's Lifestyle LLC.com. And also, while you're there, if you're interested in becoming a guest, I do have advertisement and sponsor and commercial slots or and packets that if you want to be, have your company or anyone um, on my show. And you can reach me, I told you, at that email that I just uh, gave to you, info at Anna's Lifestyle LLC .com. Um, and I always ask everyone to subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as like, follow, and share on all of my other social media platforms as well. Let me see. I think it might be one other thing that I do want to show you as well. Let me see if I can find it. I think this might be it. No, that's not it. Uh-oh. All right. I don't see it. So I cannot show that to you because I don't see it. But anyway, I have a couple of ebooks out, and there's a new one coming out, and I did want to show it to you. The covers of it. They're uh, self development book, personal development. I'm very heavy on personal development, and these are books that I developed last year during when I first started my series. And self improvement is always a great access that we can all use. So I will pull that up. But if you're interested in my books, they're very nominal. They're only $5. And but if you are interested in my books, you can purchase them at payhip.com, sweet blessings. Payhip.com, sweet blessings. And you'll see them there. They're just $5. But it has a lot of resources and a lot of hands-on activities that you can do as well. So we're going to, I think, go back to the presentation that I was doing before on Sacred Renew. And so, as before we went to commercial, I said when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about teaching points. Okay. So, what I mean by teaching points is, spiritual fatigue is a signal, not a failure. It's just a signal. And if you were on at the beginning of this stream, I told you that when I get like that, I just have to go rest. I remove myself from the situation and I rest. So, because sometimes going to church can be very overwhelming to me because there's so much stuff going on in churches. And I go to church every week. So when I decide not to go to church, there's a reason. It means I need to rest, and I rest. I feel better after that. And I'm ready and back, ready to do what I got to do. But we all need to rest, y'all. We all do. And I have a lot of spirituality in my life because I also go to Bible study, but it's the same thing when I go to Bible study. If I get so wound up and stressed and I'm overwhelmed, then I remove myself for a little bit. It's not to say that I'm quitting. I'm not quitting. I just need a little rest. I need time to regroup, and we all need that. So remember that spiritual fatigue is a signal. It's not a failure. Okay? You didn't lose your ability to love God because you didn't go to church or anything like that. And I want you to remember that rest is biblical. Even in the Bible, Jesus rests. If you notice, it said on the in the beginning in Genesis, it does say on the seventh day they what? They rest. So rest is biblical and it is necessary, y'all. It is biblical and it is necessary. Also, God renews us before calling us forward. He's going to renew, just like I just told you before. He's going to restore you before you move on. He's going to do that. So he renews us before calling us forward. Now let's reflect a little bit, child. Oh Lord, I love this little kitty. I want you to ask yourself a few, just a few questions. Where do I feel spiritually tired? Where do you feel spiritually tired? I've already told you that sometimes I feel spiritually tired when I go to church or when I go to Bible study. But you have to think in your mind, your circumstances are different than my circumstances. So you have to ask yourself, well, where did I feel spiritually tired? The second thing is, what has drained me more than it has filled me? Whew, these are some heavy questions, ain't they? What has drained me more than it has filled me? Hmm. And then the last one is, what would rest look like with God? What would rest look like with God? It's not guilt. It's not guilt. You shouldn't feel guilty because you rest. I used to, but now I don't. Every time I feel like resting, guess what I do? I go and rest, y'all. Because when I rest, I wake up and I feel refreshed. My mind, it clears my mind. There's some clarity there. It helps me to think. So I'm not guilty for resting. I used to be. But now what I'm guilty of now is resting throughout the day, which I'm trying to correct. because then I'm up all during the night, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, because I rested during the day. I want to rest at night. But it's okay to take a nap. There's nothing wrong with, relaxing and, taking your naps and, because that rests your mind, makes you think a little bit more. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the gentle teaching moments. When I was teaching, which I'm still teaching now. This is what I'm giving you information, but it's like teaching. But when I was teaching, they would always say, the students would come up with something and they would say, well, sometimes you need to use that as a teaching moment. Okay. But you know what? In life, we have teaching moments, not just in the school situation, but also in life. So when we see those, I call them gentle teaching moments. Because guess what? You don't have to earn rest. Rest is something that you don't have to earn, y'all. You don't have to earn rest. Rest is free. Take advantage of it. It keeps you younger, everything. Rest. And you don't have to prove devotions through exhaustion. You don't have to do that. If you're exhausted, rest. I'm telling you to rest. And the most important thing, y'all, is that God meets us in stillness and restores our strength. So when you are resting, and resting entails more than sleeping, because you can rest in a chair. Resting is just being still. But when I rest, usually I go to sleep. But not everyone is like me. And I didn't always do that. But I'm going to tell you, when I was teaching school and I would come home and I would be so tired, okay, sometimes it would be just a long day. And I'm going to tell you, I could lay down for 15, 20 minutes and get up and feel so much better. Rest. Rest is very, very, very important. So we're going to take another brief commercial. And then when we come back, I am going to give you some closing remarks. Okay.
Yeah. Hey. Oh. Yeah. Hey. Hi.
All right, we are back. I just wanted to say that if you are interested in Soul Lady wigs, by all means, you can reach out to me. That is my code. But if you directly message me, I can just send you that link, and I have a discount code for you if you are interested in ordering some wigs, they're very good wigs. I will be wearing. I just got my hair retwisted, so you know. So I won't be wearing it, but I love their wigs. Okay, I have been affiliate of them for quite some time now, and they really are quality wigs. If you are into wearing wigs, so I want to give you a brief summary this evening on some of the things that we kind of talked about uh, as, as we went on. So, kind of in the summary, I think that the main focus that you need to look at is this year you want to choose renewal over rush. You don't want to rush. Take your time. It's gonna still be there. You don't have to rush. So this year, choose renewal over rush. And then the next thing is you're going to let God restore you before we move forward. You're going to let God restore you before we move forward. Okay? I'm just looking at my notes. You all know how I am. Oh. I want to make sure that I have given you all of the necessary information this evening. Also, I want to hold on, want to thank you this evening for attending and visiting Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and podcast, where we inspire, we encourage, and we empower you to live a fulfilling and blessed lifestyle. In closing, I want to remind you of my 3 L's. I always kind of close with my 3 L's. The first L is to live. So you want to live your life to the fullest. Do those things that make you happy. Because when you're happy, you live longer. The second L is to laugh. So you want to make sure that you get some type of laughter into your day. Laughter is it's just so good for you. It's good for the soul. So whether you're laughing or you're making someone else laugh, because if you're making someone else laugh, you're going to be laughing with them. You know what I'm saying? And for God, don't forget to laugh about yourself. How many times have you done something crazy and funny? You have to laugh at yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it. And then the third L is love. Love is important, y'all. Not just for everyone, but for you. Self-love is very, very, very important. So with that being said, I want to thank you again for joining me this evening on Sweet Blessings. I hope something shared inspired you, encouraged you, and empowered you to live your life with intention. Walk in faith and shine your light. Remember, you are here for a purpose. You are capable and you are called to make an impact. Until next time, stay encouraged, stay empowered, and as always, sweet blessings to you. Have a great one. Bye-bye.